This is Macho Masculinity from Pakistan, and you're watching my YouTube channel Insani Ittihad, which aims to invoke a little bit of humanity in all of us through awareness and understanding. So I was watching this video where there is this person who is, I think, a convicted pedophile or sex offender, a child sex offender, and this other guy who has a YouTube channel, and he speaks and talks about so many of the political issues in United States of America, and I often listen to his short videos. He makes shorts, and some of them are really great videos, and I agree to majority of his point of views, and sometimes I completely disagree with what he has to say. Now in this short video, he was talking about this person who is a pedophile or child sex offender, and the question was actually put to this person that how does he selects his victims, or what is common between what is the one common thing which he sees before victimizing, or victim is a very wrong word, um, but yeah, I mean, how does he, yes, target was the word that he used. So how does he pick his targets to do these heinous crime? Personally, as a woman, personally as someone uh, who has been blessed by Hashem to have this ability to have children, for me, talking about child molestation and even thinking about this sexualization of children is something which just boils my blood, and it just, if it was in my hand that there are one type of people that you can eliminate from this entire planet, I would choose pedophiles or sex offenders or people who sexualize children, like without even blinking up. I rapist and child, but out of rapist and child sex offenders or pedophiles, I would definitely choose child molesters. Um, yeah, so this is very, very sensitive to me. So this person says that when he chooses his targets, he sees which of the children have vulnerable families, or especially weak fathers. If he would not molest a child if he finds out that that child has a very strong father, or shall I say, in other words, a masculine, macho kind of dad. Now, this means that every man, before having children or before having sex for that matter, should go hit the gym and build some muscles, and then have sex and then have children. Otherwise, he should tell his girlfriend or his wife to abort the child because he doesn't have the muscles to protect his children from pedophiles or sex offenders. This was something really, really, yes, I could agree to this point that children with, broken homes, or children with vulnerable families, like children from underprivileged families in relatively poor neighborhoods, and where both parents are working 2 to 3 jobs and they're never home, and children after school stay at home, and they're vulnerable for these pedophilias, who probably living in the neighborhood and kind of get acquainted with the family, their parents, and then keep on coming to their homes, and then one fine day molest a child or whatever. But at times this happens, so that even um, even children are abused and molested by their own fathers, by their own uncles at home. So having a muscular, strong Aaron Schwarzenegger father will protect you from a pedophile, or somebody who has a sick mentality to sexualize children and abuse them sexually, is an absurd concept. And majority of the sex offenders or rapists have been abused sexually themselves in their childhood. And I was just the other day, I was thinking that there are only two ways that a man could express his emotional and physical trauma if he has been abused sexually in his childhood. One is that he will become a rapist or a child sex offender himself, a pedophilia himself, and would keep on abusing women and children, and sometimes men also, to show to get rid of that demon that he has inside of his head, which could not do anything and protect himself from the person who abused that person. And it could be a physical abuse and or sexual abuse. But in the sexual abuse, the trauma is probably very, very intense, that it just destroys your personality completely. And your scars can heal, but what sexual abuse does is that I would say it kind of hijacks or enslaves your godly soul. And the sexual trauma actually, it chains your godly soul, and it doesn't let it outshine, and it gradually actually destroys your light, destroys your godly soul. So and the other way that men can deal with this trauma, this childhood abuse trauma, is through is through um, is through completely negating your masculinity. They get so sick and disgusted with this whole episode where they were molested by this man, that they, or women even, they just, if they are molested, even if they are molested by a woman or a man, they become this, they become this person who would hate their own self, and they would not kind of sync with their body, with who they are. And that's why they want to become something else, and the majority of the time they become women, transgender. They just hate who they are, so they want to change their gender in any form, transgender, and they just want to, or they prefer to call themselves anything else, but but that person, because being who they are actually caused them to go through that trauma. And now I'm not generalizing that all the people who are transgender, or no, maybe some people are actually born with a very, very masculine soul and a very feminine body, and vice versa, a very feminine soul and a very masculine body, and they somehow feel that no, our soul, which is not our body, be should be allowed to express itself. Or I mean, there could be genetic, I mean, I have no expertise in that. I mean, we're not even given, in Pakistan, we're not even given sexual education to women and men for being women and men, or boys and girls, or, I mean, in terms, in relation, or in terms of their sexuality. So I mean, for us gays and transgender, that's like a completely alien, Mars or Venus kind of planet. We don't, some people don't even understand it. Some people, I would tell you, for myself, I mean, it's not like I hate them or so. No, absolutely not. Um, I, it is safe for me to say that I know people who are gay, and yeah, I would just limit this to this. But yeah, I mean, it's not about judgment. It's not about figuring them out that why they want to be that, because there could be so many reasons. But in my opinion, which shouldn't be taken as an expert opinion or the only opinion on this entire planet, definitely. But I was just thinking that what would a child feel, and what kind of feelings and thought this child, this young adult, not young adult, a tender child, somebody who's like, 6, 7, 8, or even 12, 13, they're just growing up, and these children who go through such weird things. And I mean, I was just thinking that, I mean, khas v'shalom, should I be saying this? I don't know if that's the right word. That had something like that happened to me, how would have I grown up and this was something that I was thinking for myself. Had I been khas, again I'm using khas v'shalom, but as a woman, if I can't even imagine that if I would have a child and somebody would do this to my child, I would I would just nuclearize them. This one thing that I just, like I said, that if given a choice, that there are one kind of people that you would, if you wish, you can just completely, they would be vanished from this entire planet. I would say pedophilias, people who sexualize children. That's it. Rapists we can deal with, harsher punishments and this, but people who molest children, no, zero tolerance. And I mean, I can't, as a woman, I can't even imagine my children going through that. But I did imagine that what if I had gone through something controversial. Again, I'm using this word, but I have prayers, and I won't say that I understand completely, but I do feel, I don't feel sorry, definitely. I do not want to feel sorry, because it's not their fault. And I mean, child molestation can happen to any child. It could have been me, it could have been you. Anyone could have gone through such a horrible experience. So as an adult, I understand how and what they feel and what goes around their mind. No, not completely, but I can, to some extent, want to share and make them feel comfortable to feel their pain. and deal with that pain, and don't be a hostage to that pain, and don't be a slave to that person who did something really, really bad to them, and don't be a slave to that incident. That So yeah, they shouldn't feel that they're a victim, but they, and this, and on a larger scale, I would say, and this is not to say that women do not sexually abuse children or physically abuse women, also sometimes mothers. I mean, this is just crazy. But family members or mothers, they also at times abuse children, sexually abuse children, physically. I mean, I think before becoming parents, there should be some sort of programs to make them understand that the life that they are bringing into this world needs a lot of responsibility, love, and care. They cannot treat their children like baggage, or like it, especially mothers, they need to understand that, I mean, they need to be very, very careful in regards to who they sleep with. And if they do not want to have children with that kind of man, and if that kind of man is an irresponsible gangster, or I don't know, whatever, whose penis is not even in his control, and he just wants to give all other women a great time, good for you, and good for all these women looking for a good time, looking for a good sexual time. Do have sex, okay? You God gave you a functioning genitalia, genital organs, and you want to enjoy that, go ahead and do that. But please, if for two of you this is just a joke and just the sake of enjoyment, please use protection. Do not bring human beings into life, into this world, out of your, I mean, it's just crazy. If you're not serious about doing such things, either avoid it or make sure that there is no possibility that you conceive or whatever. And if you do, then both the parents, mother and father, has to understand that, okay, both the party has to understand that they have a life to take care of, to watch over, and to protect and make sure that life becomes a light to this world, and has all the, at least, I mean, there is destiny, and there is, but then again, at least both the parents who are so close to that child should be loving, caring, and protective towards their child. And yeah, at least the parents shouldn't be child molesters themselves, and they shouldn't also be this irresponsible that they would just hand over their kids to anyone, and then just and of course talk to your children. And I think that person was making the shot, he was saying that children shouldn't be sensitized towards sexual conversation. I don't think so. I think after your child comes to this age that he or she is able to understand its own body, at least parents should have this sensibility to give that child this space and this understanding that if something heinous happens to this person, or he or she feels discomfort in terms of people exploiting or touching, or kind of giving them attention or love, or touching that they feel discomforted or dislike, they are able to tell their parents, give them that understanding that there is a certain kind of limit which has to be, respected by others, including their own parents. A dad cannot do this to that, and both parents, I think, should sit down with their children and tell them. It's so funny that people, you sometimes parents bathe with their children, they go swimming with their children, but they can't have a sexual conversation with them in regards to, if somebody molests you, you better come and tell me. If you have a crush on someone and you desperately want to sleep with that person, this other kid, you come to me. And the thing is, parents and children should be each other's best friends, and they should be able to have this ability to count on each other and trust each other. And of course, there should be limits between parents and children, in terms of, children, in terms of parents having intimacy and privacy, and they don't lip lock every now and then in kitchen, and okay, you can do that. Personal choices, I can understand, but at least what we need to understand, that that we need to sensitize our children regarding sexuality in a way that they are not disgusted about sexuality, yet they know that it is a huge responsibility, and they would get the chance to be like this with someone in the future. And before that, there are so many other things that they can focus on and work on, and become great individuals, so that when later on in their life they would have such intimate sexual relations with other people, they would they would enjoy it more, first and foremostly, and they would have more respect and more respect and more satisfaction. Okay, that is a wrong word, but more respect and more acceptance, in a sense that they will find people who would appreciate their even their intimate and sexual conversations, shall I say. So it I think children need to be taught that before you actually have sexual relations with other human beings, you need to realize that you need to understand your own body. You need to understand your own body, and you also need to understand to respect your body and value your body and cherish it, that it's a gift from Hashem, and you as an individual also is much more than your body, that you're not just your body, but you should also love your body, whatever you or whoever you are, as a girl, as a boy, as any other, but yeah, you need to understand that you have a body, and okay, you need to understand it. No, but children have to understand that they're much more than their bodies, yet their bodies are very unique and special, and are to be respected and understood, and there are limits and boundaries, and as an individual they have the right to have those boundaries and limits, even with your parents, I guess. I think after bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, I think children, at least in the Jewish Jewish thing, I think Jewish communities, I think after bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah, these young adults should be treated like adults. Yeah, like young adults, not like, kids. And they should be taken seriously, and they should, parents should have conversations, serious conversations with them regarding so many things, and also, sexuality, sexual relations, in a very sensitive way. So I hope Hashem protects all our children, all the communities and all the religious communities and ethnic communities' children. And I hope and pray that our children grow up to be better people, better human than our generation is. So with that, thank you very much for watching. I make very long videos, but yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, thank you for watching.